Hello and welcome to yet another completely unprofessional unboxing. Scott here, and yes, it has been another long hot minute since I've been able to make a video, but it seems like every time I sat down to the table to do a recording, the gods of fate had decided to intervene and thrust life's priorities in front of me. So I've had to tend to several different things between my last update and now, but with the lazy days of summer coming, hoping that I might be able to get a little bit more content and videos on here, but I'm not going to anger the gods of fate. So I'm just going to leave it with a big maybe, and we'll see what happens. So anyways, yes, I'm back here to do another unboxing. As you've probably seen by the thumbnail, we're going to be looking at Weird Heroes of Public Access. I've been anxiously awaiting for this crowdfunding to arrive. And been looking forward to taking a look and see what's inside and what has been provided to me by Royale and friends and everyone involved in this wonderful box from GitHon Industries. I can talk. So without further ado, let's jump in and see what we have inside. Okay, so, of course, some things never change. I have my trusty Coleman camping steak knife here to open it, and still several years without injury, but I don't know what the odds are currently in Vegas, but I'm sure the day that it hits, someone will be very well off with the funds they receive. So, this one is, thankfully, relatively easy to open. And let's go ahead and pull that back here. So, and there we are. Okay, and for those who, aren't familiar with Weird Heroes of Public Access, or lovingly known as WHPA, it is a tabletop RPG where you play a group of quirky public access TV personalities in the town of Fairhaven, and you pretty much fight the weird aspects going on in your town, battling monsters, dealing with angry moms, and investigating bizarre supernatural mysteries around there. And you may think, well, Scott, there's already plenty of things out there that cover this, but the difference between this and other games is it doesn't have that particular amount of quirk and charm that is provided through Royale's imagination and personality. So let's go ahead and get these out here. Lovely, lovely, lovely. All right. So what do we have within? Okay. Ooh. And a little handwritten card here from Royale. I believe that is a signature card that I can stick in here. So why don't we begin with the actual book? So WHPA came out some years ago, and it came to my attention from a few friends, and I picked up the original copy when it was still in zine form and purchased it, interesting enough, through Joey's account on Etsy. That was the only way you can get it at the time. I believe it was a limited run, which included a few decent-sized zines. And what was interesting about it is yes, it's a role-playing game. It has its kind of baked-in system to deal with the aspects of the world that you're playing within, but just enough quirkiness and oddities to allow you, as the game master, to have your players venture into this odd, strange little town without it being overly involved. A few threads, a few bits of information, but it was up to you to create the weirdness, the quirkiness, and every aspect of Fairhaven so it could become your own. So let's take a look and see what the core book has to say about this. And if I'm not mistaken, this, generally speaking, is a culmination of all of those zines into a wonderful little hardback book here, and maybe a couple extras thrown in. So what we have here, as you can tell on the front cover here, you kind of have a general idea of what you're dealing with, and those of you who are of a certain age, like myself, can recall the treasure trove of just oddities, weirdness that can be found on public access. By flipping that channel, a few flips outside of the normal zone, and you could find a whole different world that kind of shows you a behind-the-scenes look at America, its citizens, and interesting ideas of what people personally consider to be creativity. So it's not surprising that something such as this would eventually evolve into a role-playing game, but I think it took a deft hand in someone such as Joy Royale and friends to actually make it a cohesive game that people would enjoy. But that remains to be seen. All right, so what do we have here? Let's see, is there a description on the back? Yeah, let's go ahead and start with this. This might give you a better idea of what's inside of here than the basic description that I got. So lights, camera, technical difficulties, action. Weird Heroes Public Access is a tabletop role-playing game for 2 to 6 players who take on the role of small town television hosts investigating the mysteries of Fairhaven, a town steeped in the ultra. That's French, isn't it? Under the glow of the relentless full moon, your public access heroes take on skulking monsters, ancient angry parent groups, and juvenile delinquents to save their town in this homage to the golden days of analog weirdness. There you go. A simple D6 pool rule system gets players into the action quickly. Time is of the essence. Do you have what it takes to save Fairhaven? Grab your ventriloquist dummy, ham radio, and x-ray glasses and get to work. Fairhaven needs heroes. And remember to stay weird. I added that in, but, definitely stay weird. All right, taking a look on the inside. So yeah, it does. This looks to be the same format of the zines that were printed, but of course this is on far better quality paper. With a gloss cover on here, and a wonderful looks like stitched bound hardback. But enough about the quality here. Let's take a look. All right, so let's see. Weird Heroes of Public Access is by, let's move you out of the way here, is by the Reverend Joy Royale. Concept, contributions, and editing by Sarah Macrino, and cover art by Hayden Hall. Cover layout by Brian Shutter. Brian Shutter, some of you may know from, Jesus, I can't believe, I'm embarrassed. Toxic, Overlords of the Toxic Wasteland, shit. Don't hate me, Brian. The brain doesn't work as well as it used to. Additional art by Elvis Macrino and Pudding Gnome, Wayne Snyder. Well, good job, Wayne. Everyone needs a Pudding Gnome in the creation of their role-playing game. To be different is a gift. To be ordinary is common. Walter Mercado. So this is not for everyone. This is for you. They have told you for years that you are different. Were they laughing with you or at you? You have something special to give to the world. Lights, camera, technical difficulties, action. The portal Public Access has opened, and now is your time to share. Okay, so there's the general presentation that it looks like is similar. Is it dives right in. I mean, you're instantly going to be hit with what would be considered in-world materials, in-world observations. You've got a memo from the desk of the station manager providing information here. You've got an advertisement. A lot of weird advertisements existed on public access. Advertising, the variety of shows that would appear, such as your weekly reading with Cristobal's Crystal Ball, the mysterious Crystal Ball, Fridays 10 a.m. on WHPA TV 13. All right, so diving into the rules here, the ref plans the framework out of the adventure, adjudicates rules, and deals with the host's fates when everything goes off the rails. Players should be willing to take on the personality of their host character and make decisions, take actions accordingly. When a host needs to do something important, the ref calls for a skill check. The ref and the host determine which core skill is most relevant to the check. Roll 1d6 plus an additional d6 for each skill point assigned to the core skill. A result of 5 or 6 on any die is considered a success. A particularly difficult task requires more than one success in a resolved dice pool. So Simple, basic, easy dice pool system for resolution. Anytime a resolved dice pool is made up of entirely of ones, the host's hope score is reduced by 1 point. Anytime a resolved die pool is made up of entirely of sixes, the host gains a supernatural point to use at any time throughout the game. So there seems to be either a Bane type boon system here, or a commodity system in the game that you can spend for special results, which is fantastic. Yeah, I really enjoy that kind of thing. It makes it interesting and also somewhat tactical within the game when people decide when and where they want to use these things. So for the ref, consider success as what the host wants. If a host fails a roll, consider what the story needs to maintain engagement and excitement. And the core skills are mind, mouth, body, soul, with a variety of subcategories defining it below. Let's see here. Becoming a host. Breakdown of character creation. There we go. Right there on page 5 of the book. We're not having to dive through 150 pages of lore to figure out what your character is and what it can do. Determine your niche programming focus. Distribute 2 skill points amongst your core skills. Distribute the skill points provided within your host programming focus. Define connections, variety and local talk hosts. Pick a special gadget. Get a day job unrelated to the theme of your show. Fill your wallet with 1d6 times $10. Load up on props. Pick up 3 inventory items related to your show that would cost less than $100. Stash a safety item on your person as well. Dream up a supernatural ability and record 6 hope points. All right, who is in charge around here? The basement of WHPA TV13 serves as your hideout. The station manager has to keep a very low profile, so they rely on the thing behind the secret panel to send messages to the host. Roll 1d6 to determine what thing delivers these messages. A ventriloquist dummy, wall of TVs, ticker tape machine, the red phone, ham radio, and a Ouija board. So as you can already see, we're ramping up the semi-gonzo weirdness aspect. Now, of course, some people aren't into this kind of thing, but for the quirky aspects of this, and of course, it's no surprise that Joy Royale, revolves and has an orbit around the Dungeon Crawl Classics, Goodman Games hemisphere, and with that comes the usual gonzo quirkiness and weirdness that accompanies that, and the people who love that kind of game, and all the wonderful people who run those games and provide the games from Dungeon Crawl Classics. So if, I would be shocked if you're well within the DCC space that you're not familiar with Joy Royale, but if you're not, this would definitely be up your alley. All right, so it continues on going through the program lineup. WHPA TV13 considers all interest groups when scheduling quality programming, quality community television. So we have the following umbrella themes are used to categorize shows and their beliefs. So we have spirituality, fitness, variety, monster movies, local talk, special interests, and so on. And then we have a supernatural ability, which says dream up of your own. But of course, they have suggestions here. But that is a fantastic thing, which I love, because that helps with the creativity and gets the players more involved. Continue on with information about connections, and of course, you're going to see a lot of these wonderful little add-ons of these, that seem to look like advertisements or aspects from the old days of magazines, comic books, and things. It gives a bit of personality to your read, which is always helpful because, a lot of times, some books can be extremely drawn out and bloated, and breaking it up in certain levels, like this, helps people like me keep engaged and others, to remain focused to get through the book. So, okay, leveling up. We've got some additional community partner advertisements here, inspiration aspects, dealing with initiative and combat, safety items, hope points. So what are hope points? A host starts with 6 hope points, which represent mental and physical vitality. When hope points reach 0, a host must make a soul check. A success stabilizes the host back to 1 hope point. A failure means cancellation, unconsciousness, death, or even worse, resignation to normalcy. Most humans have 6 hope points. Weird creatures may have more. We have aspects here dealing with the Fairhaven Police Department. Additional bits of information here, fleshing out the world, and other wonderful advertisements thrust within, along with, things pointing out the weird things that you may see through the city of Fairhaven. And continues, oh, there's a cute little ribbon in here. That's awesome. All right, so just kind of flipping through it, we've got presentations for what looks to be magical aspects of the game, mediation principles, or meditation. I can read when the dyslexia isn't hitting hard. And continuing on, so let's see here. Doop. So as you can see, the book itself has plenty within it that will, maintain and focus you on the level of weirdness and aspects that you and your players can discover around Fairhaven and running your public access television station. Okay, looks like we may have some adventures in here. Really short, just bits of information to kind of send you on your way and make it your own as you and your television hosts make their way through it, and so on and so forth. And we continue on here. All right, what do we got? Warning, these are not for the faint of heart. Only those with strong will should dabble in the rituals before you. Excellent. Okay. And we have made it to the end with a simple character sheet. Nothing too heavy to maintain. Focusing your character on the fantastic, weird, and wonderful adventures that they will discover within Fairhaven. So, yeah, a wonderfully produced, accessible, light little book that kind of, tops out at 110 pages. Primarily, a lot of the rules themselves may take up not quite half of it, and a lot of inspirational adventures here to guide you through Fairhaven itself, but again, nothing overwhelming or overpowering, and it looks like plenty of room to personalize it and make it your own. Excellent. Glad I backed this. But that's not all. Well, tell us what else there is, Dave. All right, so what do we have here? So these are the extras that came with the Kickstarter that I backed. First off here, what do we have? We have the WHPA TV13 Weirdathon Program Guide. All right, what do we have? A little message from the Reverend himself. Dearest heroes, your mere possession of this literature is a testament to your bravery and loyalty. You know the odds and the terrors that haunt Fairhaven's shadows, yet you selflessly persevere. Without breaching your privacy, I've been observing you, and I've seen your advocacy for the underdog and your willingness to sacrifice for the benefit of others. I cannot expose the plan in detail, but I need to tell you that you'll be granted great powers in all realities based on your commitment to WHPA TV13's mission. I will not tell you when they will awaken from dormancy, but it will be at the right time. Everything in this book is as factual as it is fantasy. It is all how you look at it. All the signs are there. You just need to be open to accepting them. Trust your gut. So it looks like it looks like supplemental information. We've got these odd advertisements that you can definitely draw upon. We've got a host of characters, hosts that can definitely lead you to adventures, throughout Fairhaven and so on. So jumping off points, inspiration, adventure siege, just the right amount of spice for you to, take off and create your own personalized adventures where it would seem no two are ever going to be the same. So wonderful, 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 wonderful. Okay, you did it, pal. You made something special. Fairhaven thanks you. Awesome. That is good to see. Now I know several people were involved. They were mentioned in the backer kit, and I don't know if they're are mentioned here. They, to be perfectly honest, they probably are. They're probably they're probably embedded in the advertisement. So on my own time, I'll take a look at this and see if I can disseminate who these people are, or just look on the crowdfunding site and figure it out on my own. But where's the fun in that? All right, other goodies. All right, here we are. So what do we got here? We've got some specialty dice, a set of 4 WHPA dice with imagery on some of them. And this is awesome. This is a nice way to start your dice pool. D6s are obviously not a rarity to find and pick up, but having the little quirky dice just kind of adds more to the flavor of the game you're playing. A beautiful, cool patch that will go on my bag. I'm starting to put patches on my travel bag to make it cool and catch up with all the cool kids. All the other people I know are putting these cool patches on their bags, and I feel left out. And what do we have here? I thought this was a dice bag. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. It is, what we like to call a beer koozie or cozy, but, it depends on what part of the state you're in. But, drop your favorite drink in here, keep it cold, and sit there and anxiously await for people to kind of stare at your cozy and wonder, what the hell is WHPA 13 Fairhaven, and watch them walk away with their mouths open as you explain what this is all about. Hopefully not saying it's a game, just touching on the things that you've read and discovered. And if anyone stays after you've rambled on about this, they're definitely worth hanging out with. We have a wonderful portrait of the Reverend himself, Joey Royale, station manager, modestly, reclining in a chair, looking boss as hell, and should fit in a, what is this, maybe a 4x6 or a 3x5 frame that you can set on the corner of your desk, just to remind you he's always watching, but who he's watching, you'll never know. And then it looks like it also included original printings of the zines, which I already have, but, my primary thing is I wanted to support Joey and the friends of Get Haunted Industries and all their endeavors, so I had no problem picking up some more copies of the zine. So this was originally what I had purchased from Etsy when it first came out. But I do feel, though, with that said, the ones that I got were even a little bit more handcrafted. You've ever received those zines that you definitely know are folded by hand, where some of the pages kind of maybe stick out or a little uneven, and it's not a flaw. It's part of the personality. So, as you can see, it was definitely supported in various aspects before. Joey and friends decided to, come out with the hardback book and the other supplements for it. Although, to be perfectly honest, I didn't have all of these. I know I had this one and this one, so I couldn't tell you if this one was part of the original run or if this is an inclusion with the crowdfunding. So, but what do we have here? We all have secrets. So let's see here. What do we have here? I believe it is more adventures, and okay, good. So here's a lot of the people that were involved. So we have scenarios in here authored by the likes of the wonderful and fantastic Levi Combs. Ooh, it's a little bit stiff. So, and let's see here. Punch and Judy is a punk. I would imagine. I mean, I know there's other people involved in this, but am I missing whom it might be? Is this all? Okay, no, it's not. So here's Brian Courtmonch. So yeah, a variety of people in here. Ben Grimes. Who else do we have here? More things from Levi. So Levi's a focus here. within the game, but excellent. So yeah, no shortage of material. I mean, obviously it's designed for you to come up with your own or use some of the framework of what's within the books to make your own Fairhaven scenarios and adventures, but there's no shortage of inspiration, support to carry you through this game and have a wonderful time exploring this odd little city. And finally, what do we have here? Oh, okay. I forgot about this. Yes. So a teeny tiny game master screen, which, I mean, it's cool. It is wonderful. But obviously for, people of a certain age like myself, this probably would work best as just a mat laying down on the table. Because I know for a fact if I prop this up in front of me, yeah, I'm not going to be able to read it. But it is still cool. It is still cool to have. And of course, this could be something that can be zoomed in on and printed out in better detail for those of us who haven't admitted yet that we need glasses and should be wearing them at all times. And then what do we have here? Last of all. All right, let's carefully open this. Okay. And oh, this is cool. All right, so this is actually, this looks to be a hand-painted illustration, or well, I mean a hand-painted painting. This is definitely on canvas, and you can feel the paint, and it's signed by Joey Royale. I don't recall. I do remember this being in the backers kit, but I don't recall if everyone was getting a one-of-a-kind version of this. But it definitely is. But I don't know if the illustration itself was going to be reproduced or everyone got something special. But regardless, the fact that the time was taken to produce this artifact and given to those who wanted to support Joey and Get Haunted Industries and all their endeavors, this is a fantastic reward. This is definitely something that is going into a frame and going up on my shelves of trophies and oddities that I have hanging above my computer in my office to the left of me. So, oh wow, this is fantastic. So what a treasure trove! What a treasure trove of goodies we have here. This is absolutely wonderful. Now, as far as I know, you can pick up several of these items from Goodman Games, and I am not 100% certain if you can get them directly through Joey at Get Haunted Industries, but I'll find out. And if so, there'll be a link to the various ways you can pick this up if you are interested. And but of course, the little goodies and oddities that came with the crowdfunding, those are mine. You can't have them. So wonderful. I'm very, very, very happy to finally get this in my hands, because I know for sure, without question, that I know several people that are going to be interested in playing this and trying this out. This game could definitely be something you can run a short campaign with. It could be a long-term campaign that should be very easy to move in and out of if you're playing a variety of games, or also a wonderful, wonderful palate cleanser between games, and obviously definitely something to consider running if you run games at conventions, because I would imagine it would be a joy to run, and people would flock to this without question. So yeah. Weird Heroes of Public Access. Wonderful. And there we go. And so there you have it. Weird Heroes of Public Access role-playing game. Pick it up. Check it out. Search the internet. Go to Goodman Games. Find it. Click on the links. Do whatever you can to support Joey and all of his endeavors, because we want to see more from Get Haunted Industries, not just Weird Heroes of Public Access, but anything else that comes from his inspiration and imagination, because I'm fairly certain that you'll never be disappointed. And not only that, he has a great foundation of people to help him bring his vision to fruition. So this has been yet another completely unprofessional unboxing. Thank you all for taking the time to take a look at Weird Heroes of Public Access. And a couple things before I go. One thing I just want to note on, I've have posted around my socials, but in September, I will be going to a convention in Kamloops, Canada called KamCon. Not only that, but through a lot of bribery and exchange of money, and also maybe some stuff sent across the border, my friend James Drucker, one of the two, James has invited me to be involved with some of the special guests there. Yes, I am going to be standing with people who are being presented as a special guest. Now, how I'm going to stack up to that with the likes of, Shane Ivey, Dennis Detweiler, Brendan LaSalle remains to be seen. But hey, I'm more than happy to just ride the coattails and enjoy the ride while I'm there. But while I'm there, I'll be hosting some panels, some discussions while I'm there. I'll be running a couple games and maybe involved in some of the other shenanigans that goes on at the convention. I'm looking forward to it. If you're in Canada, definitely come check it out. It's September 12th through the 14th, I believe. Again, there'll be a link to it in the description. And if you're in the States and you can get over there, would love to see any and everyone who can make it to this convention, and you can watch me flounder and flail and possibly make a fool of myself as I handle these, as I moderate these panels and ask obvious questions and walk away with plenty of jam on my face, and fingers crossed that I'll be invited back again. So anyway, so there's that. Definitely check it out. And as always, trying to get a few things going on the channel here now that some of the responsibilities have subsided, and we're going to be having some more interviews with some wonderful people, hopefully coming soon. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day. And as always, happy gaming. Jesus Christ, where's the button? There we go.